The comedy club that when 95.7 hosts the Black Comedy Night on Friday nights when D.L. Hughley was the headliner, I went to Bruce and said, hey, I just started at 95.7. Sorry, that's Buck Wild. Tell him to be quiet. Hello? Yeah, stop interrupting me, Buck. I'm in the middle of your introduction. All right, cool. So, Buck Wild, I told the owner of the comedy club, I said, hey man, look, I just started at 95.7. They want me to open for D.L. Hughley. And then I called Buck and I said, hey, if I make you laugh when I open for D.L. Hughley, you have to let me be an intern. And Buck said, you opening for D.L. Hughley? I said, yes, I am. And that was 2001. I think that was April or May of 2001. And the rest was history. You know, Buck taught me about the importance and attention to detail when it comes to the edit of something as simple as a prank call, the importance and the attention to detail of knowing when to make people laugh and when to allow people space to feel. You know, every day wasn't always a happy day on the air. There were definitely tragedies that we shared and felt together as a community, and that's not the time to get on the air and be silly about, you know, celeb gossip when we're healing as a community. You know, I learned all of that through Buck Wild and 95.7 Jams. I will stop short of telling y'all about the time that he fought to help me get dental, because I don't want nobody to think that I'm hating on Cox Radio or Summit Media and all of that, but let's just say that old Buck Wild came through one time to help your boy get a root canal back in '04. With that aside, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you my friend, my colleague. Oh my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Buck Wild.
You know, that was a true story. That was a true story. Except the part that he didn't mention was, we didn't know that he arranged all that. We found that out years later. So we just saw somebody up on stage. He's like, oh, he's funny. We need a comedian. We went back, we're like, you're hired. So yeah, good guy and really proud of him. So, everybody having a good time tonight? Make some noise. Come on. How's the food? Everybody enjoying the food? What about the chitlins? Everybody got the chitlins? Nobody got, they didn't order? What happened to the chitlins? They were supposed to get, I said, I'm not doing it unless you get some chitlins. Don't act like you didn't do chitlins growing up, okay? I know Pastor Green had some growing up, the hot sauce and everything. No, you know why we're here. We are here to celebrate excellence and innovation and resilience and shine a spotlight on those who have transformed ideas into success and inspired change. Owning a business is not an easy thing, and most people don't know how much work and blood, sweat, and tears goes into it. So yeah, that's why we're here. We want to recognize those who have really made a difference and have made it happen, because it is not easy. So before we do anything else, we got to thank our sponsors. So let's run down the list of the people who made this possible, because otherwise we wouldn't be in this very nice facility, okay? They paid for it. Otherwise we'd be in the POV. That would have been fun, huh? All right. BMSS Advisors and CPAs, Butler Snow, Renaissance Bank, Fletcher, Held, and Hilton, Alexander Shadar, trial attorneys, Urban League of Alabama, Amherst, Birmingham Business Resource Center, City of Birmingham Department of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. Be Grace Media, Sheriff Mark Petway, and the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. Legacy of Hope, Mi Pueblo Supermarket. Mi Pueblo. C.A. Russell, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. Lost Furnaces, GM now. And of course, 610 WAGG, 98.7 KISS, and the best radio station in the cluster, 95.7 Jam. Of course. All right. So, now I don't get the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker. We got somebody else to do that. And to introduce our keynote speaker for the night is someone who knows her very well. I just got a chance to get to know her a little bit too. She's a very nice lady, and she's the marketing and communications manager for Max Transit. Please give it up for Amanda Hare.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Hare, as he mentioned, and I do proudly serve as the Marketing and Communications Manager for the Birmingham Jefferson County Transit Authority. And I admit, when Director Shaw asked me to introduce her tonight, I was a little bit shocked, but I'm extremely honored and privileged for the opportunity. I could stand here today and I could read all of her amazing accomplishments. I could read her bio, that's there in the program for you to read. But I think what truly shows her significant impact in her journey of her career, and she's just getting started, she's young. What really shows that impact are her leaders, like myself and some of my esteemed colleagues who sit out in the audience joining us tonight. And tonight we put together a brief video for you to see and kind of show how she pours into her leaders, how she pours into her organization, and how she pours into her community. So before I bring her to the stage, please join me in watching this video.
It's so many things that I can say here as an organization, as a leader, that I really appreciate about her. When we talk about our employees, she's big on our employees' experience. She's big on our customer experience and also executing. So, a lot of times as leaders, we see organizations do things. We see organizations sometimes say they're going to do things and those things never happen. What I've learned as a leader under her, that you have to be about what you talk about. But I admire her strength and her energy and her passion for people. So I would replicate, the one thing I would replicate for Dr. Shaw's leadership is her open door policy, because it gives the employee a chance to give her feedback, to give the employee a chance for the voices to be heard, because we know in this industry or any industry, it's very important for the employee to feel like their voices and feedback is valued. So I think that's a strong initiative that she has and should be replicated across all sectors.
Director Shaw really leads with her heart as well as her intellect. That heart really speaks to her empathy. She's a very empathetic leader who connects well with her employees. She can meet the needs of her employees and at the same time hold them accountable when they need to be held accountable. That relationship building with the team really sets her apart.
The greatest lesson I have learned from Director Shaw is, just having the tenacity, the drive, to just be innovative. She's a very creative individual, and her creativity shines throughout this organization. She's an executor. She believes in what she believes in, and she believes in getting the job done. Her key word is execution, and that's what she stands for when she walks through here. What I think about her most is a historian. She's a book of knowledge.
I think one of the biggest attributes she has is to believe in the vision, believe in the goals, and believe that there's a way when it may not seem to be a way. She's always believing in her people, believing in the organization, and believing in her goals and vision. And I believe that belief, that strong belief in herself, and the strong belief in the organization and the people she surrounded herself with will overcome any obstacle, constraint, or any roadblock that may be standing in the way of her accomplishing the goal.
Our keynote speaker tonight, Director Charlotte Shaw, is the dynamic CEO of the Birmingham Jefferson County Transit Authority, but her title only scratches the surface of what she does every single day. Charlotte leads with purpose and power, from overseeing multi-million-dollar infrastructure projects to ensuring our most underserved neighborhoods have reliable, equitable transportation. She shows up with vision, tenacity, and heart. She's in boardrooms, shaping strategy in the morning, walking construction sites by noon, and engaging the community by evening. She is tireless in her pursuit of progress. But what makes Charlotte truly remarkable isn't just the scope of her work, it's the way she does it. She brings compassion to every conversation, accountability to every decision, and inclusion to every table she sits at. Her leadership is a reminder that transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens daily through consistency, courage, and care. And tonight, we are privileged to hear from a woman who embodies all three. So before I bring her up, I want to point out one thing. A year ago, this very month, I sat in this room and I watched her receive the Executive of the Year award. And she did that as a first-time, two-time honoree, and she did it consecutively. And that deserves a round of applause. So without further ado, because y'all didn't come to see me, I want to bring the woman herself to the stage, our CEO and Executive Director of BJCTA. Give it up for Charlotte Shaw.
Y'all hear me? Wow, what an amazing team, right? I'll pay y'all later. Now, let me tell you, a little girl from St. Louis, Missouri. And this is my first TED Talk. So you all, Birmingham, give it up. You on YouTube tonight. Y'all give it up. Show folks what we made of in Birmingham. And I'm claiming Birmingham is my home now. I actually came here about 4 years ago. I came to work for the mayor. And I didn't plan to stay. I came for 2 years to get my title up so I could make some money and go back to Atlanta. But fate didn't have it that way. I ended up getting interviewing for the job at BJCTA, and I got it. Didn't expect to get it. So when I tell you, I thought about what I wanted to talk about today. And Dee said, do what you do, which is inspire. And considering the economy shifts, the market fluctuations, and the political changes that are going on right now, I'm like, Dee, that's a good idea. Because BJCTA has a story to tell. You see, when I first got this job, or when I was thinking about taking the job as the CEO, I had several people call me to tell me, Charlotte, don't take that job. Because they've had 10 CEOs in 10 years. That is the CEO pet cemetery. Now, I'm gonna tell you, that scared me a little bit. I'd heard about some things in the industry because I've worked in the industry for years in transit. And I heard BJCTA was a struggling organization. And when I first thought about Birmingham, and they said, well, there's a job in Birmingham with your name on it, the first thing I said, I ain't going to Birmingham. But then I came to Birmingham and recognized how beautiful it was. All the hills, I didn't know it was hilly. Nobody told me. I thought it was all flat. But when I thought about, and I think about now, where we are, I have a story to tell to help some small business here tonight. Whether you are a small business founder, whether you are a executive pastor, a leader of a corporation or a nonprofit, we have a testament about BJCTA and Max. It started here, me coming through the door. And you remember that movie by Denzel Washington that said, Remember the Titans? And the owner told him, this boss came over at one of his football games. He said, if you lose one football game, you're going to be fired and your career is going to be over. Well, that's how I felt when I started BJCTA. I could not lose one game. If I lost one game, my career was going to be over. So I had to think about, before I took that job, if I was the person for it or not. And then it came to me, if not me, then who? So I recognized the first thing I needed to do was build a team. But before I could build a team, I needed to think about where we were and where we needed to be. Because remember, I was that last game, and I couldn't lose. So a couple of things I'm going to tell you today that made us successful. And remember, I run an organization. I lead a company that had a historical past, a socio-economic, institutionalized, systemic racism. The bus company. And my sister friend is here somewhere who runs the housing authority, Don Trader, who is also one of the nominees for the night. She runs the second socio-economic company that went through changes due to systemic racism, right? And in running those companies, you think today we would be different. And we are. But there's still this backlog of things that have happened during that period. You know, we think about the dogs sometimes and how the protesters were attacked by the dogs. But guess what? The urban planners were just as guilty in the background in the offices that we didn't see. We were able to move to the front of the bus. But did you know, in the state of Alabama, in 1952, before the desegregation of bus, they passed a law that says public transit cannot get any public funding, and that law exists today. So I know what it feels like to be underfunded. The housing authority knows what it feels like to be underfunded. I know what it feels like to go through economic shifts, political unrest, and political changes, firsthand. So as my first year, I knew I had to build a team and recenter the mission. And there's somebody here today that has a company, and you've been running that company the same way you have for the last 5 years. But because of where we are in the economy now, and because things are so unstable and unpredictable, like I had to experience when I joined BJCTA, I knew that I had to develop a vision for this company. I had to recenter the mission and think about all the things we have done and do something new. That was the only way we were going to win. And so we developed our vision statement. We developed our mission statement. We developed our core values. And in developing those core values, the one thing that I told my team is we have to know why. You have to know why you're running a company. What is the purpose? What's the true purpose? Is it running buses? That's not the purpose. We had to regain the support of the community. We lost that. You all heard the stories about Max Transit. I don't have to repeat those things. It's okay. But where we were going was not where we came from. So the first thing I did was develop a team of leaders, a team that I know that would believe in the mission. So we spent 3 years planning. The first year was just planning the mission and the vision. I pulled all the team together to do that. And I was actually there for the mission and the core values, but I wasn't in the office when they did the vision. Now think about this. If a team believes in you, and a team understands you, and they know your mission, and they come up with your vision, you are thinking alike. The only thing that I had to change in the vision statement, it said quality of life. Well, we don't determine anybody's quality of life. That's determined by the individual. But what we can do is contribute to your life quality. I can make a difference. My team can make a difference in the life quality of the people that we want to connect to places. So when we start all our meetings, if you see this statement, it says, every decision I make this week I will make it knowing the why of the company. Vision drives the mission. And the core values is the how we do it. So every meeting we have starts with that statement. The culture was so bad. We had to get people to believe in the leadership. Remember, they had 10 leaders in 10 years. I was the 11th CEO. To them, I wasn't going to be around, but I had to convince them to believe in me. So, what we did, I knew with a team that I had to build, we had to get some high performers. And I don't mean high achievers, that's a difference. There are high achievers and there are high performers. High achievers are skilled. High achievers might be the smartest person in the room, but high performers are influential. High performers get you to believe in them. High performers are leaders who have followers, and high performers are followers who can lead. High performers change things. High performers believe in the mission. But high achievers are smart, and we need them too. But on my team, I don't look for high achievers. I look for performers who can talk about this mission statement, who can get the bus drivers who drive our company to believe in what we do every day. So what am I saying to you? Recenter the mission, because what you've done might not be working anymore. We can't worry about what's happening in Washington, D.C. You worry about what's happening at home. Right? So when you recenter the mission, you get people to believe. You get people to change. Think about this. Amex started as a express mail company years ago in the 1850s. That's how they started. Today we know them as a global financial company. And they went on after they found out that they couldn't beat a FedEx at that time. They had to move their product. Let's think about another company. Play-Doh. The little compound agents your kids play with, it started as a wallpaper cleaner to clean soup. Because back in those days, we used to use coal to heat our homes. And they were just about to go out of business when the owner said, I gotta find out something that's gonna change this company around. And he noticed his teachers, his nephew's teacher, was using the Play-Doh as a compound to build stuff for young children. And look at Play-Doh today. Change. If you don't change, you stay where you are. And I knew with BJCTA, we had to change. So we recentered the mission. Then we reinvested back into the people. We invested back into the culture. So when I first got there, the first thing I did to convince people that I was going to stay, that I was with them. I did not go to get it. I know my purpose. I'm clear about my purpose. But it unfolded for me in the last 5 years since I've been in Birmingham and since I've been running this company. And you have to know your why to create your purpose. And you even start there with your companies. If your company does not have a why, you cannot sell your product. You cannot service your people. We don't start our meetings and our stakeholders' meetings with our route changes. We start with our why. See, the difference is, if I go into a stakeholders meeting and I tell them, well, you know, we're changing Route 16 and 17 and we're doing this and that. And if I start off like that, it's just another change. But look at the difference. If I start off, we are here, we are glad you're here, we are changing this system for you, and you're going to be excited about these new changes. Because our vision is to make sure that we contribute to your life, that we make a change by connecting you to the places you need to go. And we are here to do that for you because we care. because we want to contribute to your life changes. Isn't that different? Doesn't that sound different than just talking about bus changes? See, we're more than just a bus company. And when I went into the door, I wanted to recognize that. I wanted to grow big. So we started microtransit. And that's the little vans you see now. We just received the BRT from the city of Birmingham, which I came to this city to work on. We started new VIP services. What's VIP? It's going to be market rate services. You know why? Because if private can play in public, I can play in private. Now, my colleagues thought I had lost my mind. They said, "You gonna do what?" I said, "I'm starting a market rate service. And if someone wants me to pick them up from their homes, I will. We will take them to their destination. We're working on that right now. We just changed our redesigned services, our new 70-30 plan. And guess what? We reallocated money, and I'm able to reallocate $1.7 million for those changes. Change. I'm talking change. I'm talking thinking different, thinking outside the box, expanding from the status quo. That's what Steve Jobs did. I study them all. Steve Jobs, when he went back into Apple, he got rid of 70% of his product. He said that's not working. And look at Apple today. And he did not invent one product for that company. So this is time for change. This is time to do something different for your companies. You can define where you want to go. We are a living witness. Max Transit, where we started is not where we are today. And I have a wonderful team here with me today that I could not be the CEO I am without them. But we trained and we learned and we met for 1 week. We met once a week for 1 year. He said, "Oh, Director Shaw, you mean too much." I said, I came to build performers. And those that don't perform, you won't stay. But those that do it, you do it. So, just recently, I asked my team, I didn't look at this one time, did I? I asked my team, I said, how do we explain what we've done and who we are? And they came up with all of these words. We're problem solver. That's not just a bus company. We're accountable. We're sorry that your services have been late. And we have let you down in the past. But now trust us. We have a different program that we're giving and rolling out to you. We're passionate. We're supportive. We're inquisitive. We're positive. We're charismatic. They might be talking about me. We communicate. We're empowering. We have vision, transparent. We encourage. We're empathetic. We're strategic. And we influence. That doesn't sound just like a bus company, does it? Because that's not just who we are. But I had to change from that last game. Either I was going to make it or I wasn't. So it wasn't a choice for me. I wanted to succeed. And I want to leave a legacy here in Birmingham of leaders who are high performers. So the same is true with your companies. Change. It doesn't matter. I just reallocated $1.7 million from changing services around. Shorter wait times, faster services. You can do it. If Max did it, you can do it. Now I want my team to stand, and I want people to see who helped change this time. So and leaders and presidents of your own companies, you are no stranger to Birmingham, to change. You can thrive, you're used to that. You're used to setting the pace, and you're used to developing things to change the world. Don't stop. The presidential change happens every 4 years. It does not matter who's in office. What matters is that you make the change, recenter your mission, reinvest in your culture, and live by your purpose and your why. Once you live by that why, you will survive and strive. Thank you.
Give it up for Director Shaw, please. Is she powerful? Hey. Director Shaw, this is just a small token of our appreciation for you being here.
Oh, wow, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh,
Thank you for that wonderful speech and for all that you do. And this too.
oh, thank you.
It's heavy.
Oh. Well, I got another one, you all. Thank you so
There you
much.
go. Thank you. Give it up one more time, Director Shaw. Whew. Sometimes you just feel motivated, you know? And I don't even work for her. Maybe I got a job opening? Yeah, a little part-time thing on the side. All right, we're about to get into the award ceremony. But first, Miss Miles College is up here. She's going to be helping us out here. Give her a round of applause. And again, before we move on, we got to thank the people who paid for this place tonight, our sponsors. BMSS Advisors and CPAs. Butler Snow. Renascent Bank. Fletcher, Held, and Hildreth. Alexander Chenard Trial Attorneys. Urban League of Alabama. Amherst. Birmingham Business Resource Center. I don't know if I'm going too fast or not. I can't look back. City of Birmingham Department of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. Be Grace Media. Cricket. Yeah. Can't forget about cricket. Sheriff Mark Petway and the Jefferson County Sheriff Department. Legacy of Hope. Mi Pueblo Supermarket. They got some cheering before. Mi Pueblo. All right, C.A. Russell. Blue Cross, Blue Shield of Alabama. Sloss Furnaces. BHAM Now. And of course the radio stations. 610 WAGG, Heaven 610, 98.7 KISS, and 95.7 Jams. Okay. Are we ready to get started with these awards? Okay. So, again, you know why we're here. We are here to recognize the minority business leaders for their spirit, their creativity, and their resourcefulness. These are the best minority business leaders. So, here to present our first award of the night, Academic Leader of the Year. Please welcome Kevin Morris from Amherst.
Thank you so much. You know, as I sit here tonight, I hear words repeated again and again. Reach back, inspire, know your why. I'm just taking over as the CEO at Amherst, but we're about to celebrate 89 years here in Birmingham. Yes,